What's up, everybody? This is Rabid Hedgehog, and these are just a few of the fine examples of hand-done artwork that we have at our Teespring and TeePublic stores that help support this channel. If you'd like to take a look, we have different accessories and t-shirts and different budgets at each store. So take a look at both, find what you like, buy, share, subscribe, and like today. What's up, everybody? This is the Rabid Hedgehog, and welcome once again to Indian of Oklahoma City for another used bike review. This one is going to be the 2015 Kawasaki Versys 1000 LT. This model here is still powered by the venerable 1043cc 4-cylinder that powers the Ninja 1000 and Z1000. Let's go ahead and take a look at the instrument cluster along with the controls. On the right side of this motorcycle, standard typical kill switch with start button, and then on the left side you're going to see that it has a few extra switches here. On the back side you have flash to pass with your bright selection, your turn signals, horn, hazard switch, and also the selection for your KRTC modes and traction control. This does have power modes. It has full power and low power, basically, so you can get in the rain, and 3 levels of traction control. This motorcycle is, like I said, a potent little bike because of that engine. So let's go ahead, hop on it, and take it for a ride and get a reaction of how well this bike actually rides.
First thing you're definitely going to notice is how smooth this motorcycle is. Of course, it uses the venerable 1000cc engine that comes out of pretty much everything, the Ninja 1000, the Z1000, and all the others that have used it before. And that engine is notoriously smooth, and I loved it in all the applications I've rode it with so far. Of course, this one is a little bit different, being that it is an adventure style bike. Now this one is equipped with a quick shifter, so don't have to worry about the clutch. But I don't know if that's a stock option or not. I know this one is, though. Clutch response on this bike actually was incredibly quick too. It was right off the handlebar, so I was not quite expecting it to just jump, and that kind of got me. But hey, that's not too bad. I don't mind it. Now I am running without traction control, and I'm running in full power mode, so that way this bike will get up and run. And I mean, this thing is a nice, effortless, powerful motorcycle. Even in top gear, it'll scream. Where the windshield is on it is not bad at all. It actually is not causing any buffeting. Of course, it has that vent right there that helps break that dead air that causes the buffeting whenever the other wind is traveling around it. So that is helping quite a bit. I don't feel any buffeting whatsoever. Now, before I hopped on this bike, I went ahead and adjusted the preload on the back, and it is adjustable in the front as well, but I don't have that one adjusted, so I only adjusted the preload in the back for me. But the suspension right now is awesome. It's a very well balanced suspension already. There's no hop or anything in the front, and there's nothing going on in the rear that I am not unexpected, basically. So it's running very well. Now, the one thing is this bike is designed for long range comfort, and we're running a stock seat on this thing, and I'm going to tell you, it's not a bad seat at all. It's very comfortable. The way you sit down into the bike is wonderful. It is a straight up position like almost every adventure bike you'll ever run into. So you literally, your knees go out slightly to the front, legs come back and match your shoulders. You're up into the wind, but with all this wind protection from this fairing and the windshield and everything, it actually is not that bad at all. You do feel some wind around your legs and everything, but that's fine. That's something you can honestly buy some things and block out. if you do plan on some long-range traveling. Now, the Versys series is definitely a dual sport-minded bike. So whenever you're out there, this bike is great for fire roads and everything, but it's not anything good for, or in other dirt roads, I should say. Anything that's a dirt road, but don't try to take it into anything too gnarly. You don't want to hurt yourself. It is a heavy bike for doing that. Now, running around top gear, here we are showing eco on there at 66, 65 miles an hour, and we're right under 4,000 RPMs. So this bike is, you know, just traveling right along, super smooth. Now, I will say that unlike the some of the other bikes I've rode, this one I do feel some buzzing. Like, I never felt the buzzing like in the Ninja 1000. Now, this one I do feel some buzz in the handlebars. I can definitely feel like a latent. It's not very much, but it's still smooth. But you do feel an engine buzz. It does have a little bit more soul than some of these. God, that engine just pulls. Live life unlimited. Take off all the electronics. Now, this is spectacular. And for such a large bike, it does not feel like it at all. The response from the handlebars is immediate. There's no, you know, lag between you're changing of direction, so it changes angle very quickly. Man, this thing keep wandering up in speed very easily. I like that, though. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just so, you don't feel it. You don't feel the wind. You don't hear the wind going by you. You don't really hear any change in direction. By that, you literally have to look down at the speedometer, and that's a good thing if you want the wind protection. You got to rely on your speedo. One thing I wish this bike would have, and of course they are adding it to the new one coming out, is cruise control. Because this bike, as comfortable as it is, that's the one more thing it needed to be the absolute long-range bike that Kawasaki intended this to be. Boy, it rides nice. I could sit on this thing all day long. I'm enjoying this right now. Just hitting these busted roads, and the suspension's just eating it up. No, nothing really bothering me at all. Visibility is great. Power is amazing. Starting to wander up again. Man, I like this. I like this a lot. I've always been curious about this. You see, this is where the V-Strom 1000 tries to come up and play. And I'm sorry to Suzuki, but I mean, that 2-cylinder is nowhere near this good at all. The V-Strom just does not feel like it has the power and the precision of this motorcycle. This one feels very much like a sport bike, and the way it handles and the way it presents itself and how precise your shifting and everything is, how quick that clutch is, because I almost got thrown off by it again because I forgot it's right there. But it's just such a good riding machine. Here we go, downshifted. I mean, downshifts are precise. Of course, you see your little engine temperature there, and it's running really nice. So, I mean, 138 degrees. Of course, it is a little cooler out here today, so don't know if I'll ever feel heat coming off of it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But I mean, this is a great riding machine, and that is a great looking little car. Nice. Good night. I just want to pull it right there, and it just goes. I like that. Yeah, this is just a nice motorcycle. I just forget how big it is because of how much it moves. Yeah, we'll cool that down. Man, this thing. Oh, this 1000 never disappoints. Every ride I've been on one of these, absolute delight. This one is no different, and this is the biggest one riding on that engine. Ooh, yeah. Let's see. Maybe I should. Oh, outside temperature 50 degrees now. Huh. I wonder if that's correct or not. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put her into rain mode here and see what she does. I'm still keeping KTRSC off, so. KTRC, not S. I don't know why I had an S. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Oh yeah, it's way more tame. It's still fast. I mean, it doesn't rev as freely. It definitely is restricted on how it revs up. And these brakes are great too. As stated, they do have, this one is equipped with the ABS system, so. Let's take it for a lazy ride. Let's see here. So I'm going to do this in third gear. Boy, it wants to. Even in low power mode, you barely move that throttle. It's going to move on you. It's very. There's like a small, maybe 1/8 of an inch like lag in it. Let me change it back to full power mode. See if that lag's in there. There we go. Oh yeah. In low power mode, there's an 1/8 of an inch lag. On full power mode, no lag at all. It immediately is there. It's like, you can see how it's rocking me. It's so fast to spool up. It doesn't have any lag in it whatsoever. And it does want to get up to speed a little bit better. Let me put it in fourth and kind of tame it a smidge. Get out of a power band. Put it down to 2,000 RPMs where it has nothing. And it's running so smoothly. It's not feeling bogged at all. It's being a nice little Sunday cruiser right now, going 25 down the middle of the street. No, or trying to get back up to 30 again. Come on. See, this is, when I talk about a bike that's good for everything, this bike needs to be on a highway and long roads and take away these city streets. I mean, only use the city streets to get to where you're going, because this bike likes to be faster. It definitely wants to play more. But it rides even at the slower speeds. I mean, if you keep your hand out of it, I mean, you don't really have much room to operate, but if you can keep your hand out of it, it does super well. And it's not being terrible. I mean, the only thing that might annoy you is that slight, whenever you move it, you kind of rock a little bit, like I said, you get that jerk. But other than that, this ain't bad at all. Engine braking is decent. Yeah, so far I'm very impressed with it. It just doesn't feel as big as it is. I mean, this is a massive bike, and it feels so much smaller. I mean, this 1000 propels this thing so well. And the ergonomics are comfortable, the seating position's comfortable, just everything on it is nice. And I mean, the only gripe I probably have is that I would like a thicker handlebar so your hands aren't as smashed into this. That way you can have a little bit more grip, but I have huge paws. All right, let's play accelerate to the interstate again, shall we? Just use engine braking down. Here we go. Whoa! Yeah, that'll. This is a bike that'll get me in some trouble. I like it. Yeah, that's the only complaint I really have is the handlebars for this is just too thin for big hands for long distances. I mean, you'll have to sit there and keep your hand kind of out like that and hold on that way, and that way your hands are good. But other than that, I mean, the seat is a good position. Your passenger's going to be a little bit rude to you because they're sitting up top and kind of into you. So if you have a passenger, it won't be so comfortable as a big cruiser. But if you're by yourself and you just got luggage in the back and everything, that's a good place for this bike to be. Passengers, I'd say for short term only, and everything else is for long term. It's kind of like a night rod in a way. Night rod passengers never had the fun, and I'm not going to try to play, because if I do, I will catch that car so fast and it's going to be boring. But this bike turns really well. We're going over these horrible bumps too in that ramp, and the suspension's still being awesome. I mean, this thing just accelerates too. It just has no qualm with accelerating hard. Awesome running machine. So if you're going to get a Versys, this is not a bike that you're going to be able to take into the city and enjoy, because it's just this Versys 1000 at least, this is just too fast. It's just too much for the confines of a city. But if you're going to go touring and a little bit of adventure touring even, there's nothing wrong with this bike doing that. You have the adjustable suspension. It rides super well. It's got decent ride height. It's not super tall that you're going to not be able to touch the ground with it. So it is a very good motorcycle for the long run and for some mild adventuring. But other than that, don't take it into the city, because it's just too powerful for that. It wants to play more. It wants to be out there and enjoying the long roads. And I mean, it's just a clean riding motorcycle. Like I said, this 1000 engine, every time I've been on it, has been an absolute blessing and wonderfulness to the motorcycle world. That it's just a great bike overall, and the way they put everything around it. I mean, no binding, no nothing, no muss, no fuss in the steering, no play in the handlebars. It's all tight. Everything is beautiful. Visibility is beautiful. Responses, like I said, it responds like a sport bike. It's not as sluggish or agricultural as the V-Strom. That's its direct competitor, basically. It is a fantastic motorcycle. Is it as fast or as clean as a Multistrada? No. It's not even near the cost of a Multistrada. But that's the thing. That's the whole thing about these Japanese Kawasaki bikes or Honda or all them. They do it so well for a price point that everybody can get into it. And this bike is for everybody. It's so easy to approach. Despite the power, you can always turn that down and have a lag and not just rocket. Like this thing just rockets if you're not in low power mode. But this thing is awesome. It's a great bike. I'd recommend it. So if you're looking for a used Versys, or any Versys for that matter, I recommend this bike. But I am currently riding this one out of Indiana, Oklahoma City. So go check it out if it's still available. I'll try to keep that updated in the comments below if it's still there or not, or description I should say. But I thank them for letting me take it for a ride, because this has been an absolute pleasure and delight. It's a great motorcycle and a great place to buy a motorcycle. At any rate, we'll catch you on that flip side, and we'll catch you on that next review.